Have you ever wondered what would happen if the members of the Justice League were in the world of Harry Potter? They don't need wands to summon lightning, but what if they were forced to learn spells to survive? They've fought alien gods, but now their opponent is the Dark Lord. They've flown through the universe at supersonic speeds, but could they ride broomsticks through herbology class without losing points? When the Justice League steps into the world of Harry Potter, raw power is no longer everything. Ancient, mysterious, and rule-bound magic will be a new challenge for these heroes accustomed to living by strength alone. First, let's start with the Man of Steel, Superman. Well, one thing's for sure, he wouldn't need a broomstick to fly. If Kal-El or Clark Kent crash-landed on Earth and was raised not by a couple in Kansas, but by a wizarding family in England or even Muggles, how would he be perceived in the magical community? A super-strong squib? A permanently transfigured creature? Or a sign of an ancient prophecy? Superman's presence would shake both worlds. Muggles would fear a man who can fly and deflect bullets, while wizards would be baffled because he doesn't use magic, yet accomplishes feats no one in the wizarding world could. This raises an intriguing question. Without a wand, without training in Hogwarts system, would Superman be seen as an outsider or a threat? One of the most compelling hypothetical scenarios is a showdown between Superman and Voldemort. Could the Dark Lord, with his countless curses and Horcruxes, do anything against a man who can't be killed by conventional means? Would Avada Kedavra even work? Probably not, since it's a killing curse for humans, and Kal-El isn't from Earth. However, Voldemort isn't just a brute force villain, he's a strategic genius who manipulates fear. And here, Superman's greatest weakness, his humanity, could be exploited. Voldemort might not kill Superman, but he could force him to choose. Save his friends or destroy evil. This confrontation wouldn't just be a battle of brawn, it would be a clash between absolute strength and pure malice. The wizarding world might not kill Superman, but it could bring him to his knees by pushing him into conflicting moral choices. If Superman attended Hogwarts, which house would he be in? Gryffindor seems the obvious choice for his courage and self-sacrifice. But Hufflepuff, which values loyalty and patience, could also fit. For me, though, Gryffindor feels more suitable. The image of Superman wearing a wizarding robe, attending Transfiguration with Professor McGonagall, or playing Quidditch with Harry, and winning everything, would be both hilarious and fascinating. Going further, if Superman became a celebrity in the wizarding world, how would the Daily Prophet portray him? The Muggle who can fly? The alien wizard? Or a new member of the Order of the Phoenix? And if there were a wizarding version of the Justice League, would Harry, Hermione, Ron, Luna, and Superman form a team to protect the world beyond the boundaries of magic and Muggle alike? One thing I'm certain of, if he existed in this world, Clark would definitely be a physical magic wizard, because spells might have a chance of harming him. But if you throw punches, your chances of winning are zero. No magic, no wand, no incantations needed. Batman still makes the world tremble with just his intellect, discipline, and controlled ruthlessness. So what happens when the Dark Knight steps into the Harry Potter world, where magic dominates every aspect of life? A world of darkness meets a world of fantasy. Would it be a clash, a collaboration, or a complete transformation? Suppose Bruce Wayne was born in J.K. Rowling's world, with the tragedy of losing his parents in a dark alley unchanged, but the setting different. The Wayne family is now an ancient, wealthy wizarding clan living in the magical world, and both parents likely attended Hogwarts. Their deaths don't come from a common mugger, but from a Death Eater. So instead of channeling his pain into physical training as in the DC universe, Bruce would transform his pain into a thirst for vengeance and an obsession with justice through magic. But here, Batman's essence remains unchanged. Bruce wouldn't be a wise wizard like Dumbledore, but more akin to Snape, a strategist, a detective, a dark symbol using fear as a tool. He wouldn't care for flashy magic. He wouldn't summon a Patronus to fend off Dementors. Instead, he learned to craft anti-magic artifacts, training himself to be a rogue wizard, operating in the shadows just as he did in Gotham. If Bruce Wayne were a Hogwarts student, He definitely wouldn't be in Gryffindor, too impulsive, too loud. Slytherin is plausible, but he doesn't care about greatness or ambition. Ravenclaw might be the best fit, a house for intellect, curiosity, and detachment. But oddly, if there were a fifth house for those who are both brilliant and ruthless, relentlessly pursuing justice, that would be Batman's place. He wouldn't play Quidditch or chat with classmates. Batman would be the first to uncover Hogwarts' secrets. The Chamber of Secrets? He'd find it in his first year. The Forbidden Corridor? He'd have a detailed map by the first semester. The Marauders map? He'd create an upgraded version that not only tracks movements, but also detects emotions and threat levels. Dumbledore might revere the power of love, but Batman would prove that fear, when controlled, is far more effective. Next, the Godslayer Diana Prince, an immortal warrior from the mythical island of Themyscira, appearing in the magical world of British wizards that would be a collision of ancient Greek mythology and J.K. Rowling's modern magical world. At first glance, Wonder Woman doesn't seem to belong in the wizarding world. She doesn't need a wand to wield energy, spells to fight darkness, or charms to fly. She's simply a demigod with powers far beyond any Hogwarts student. Yet, that's what makes this hypothetical so compelling. If Diana were born in the Harry Potter world, she could be the daughter of a wizard and a god akin to a Greek demigod. She wouldn't study traditional magic, but absorb ancient magic from nature, from Mother Earth, from prehistoric magical symbols, making her distinct, just as she stands out among humanity in the DCEU. At Hogwarts, Diana wouldn't be bound by the usual classroom system. Defense against the dark arts would be too easy for her. Defensive spells? She'd do better with her shield and superhuman reflexes. If anything intrigued her, it would be care of magical creatures, where she could interact with creatures as fantastical as the mythical beasts she's fought or protected. Which house do you think our Princess Diana would fit into in the Harry Potter world? I'll let you decide and comment below. If Diana existed during Voldemort's reign over the wizarding world, their confrontation wouldn't just be good versus evil, it would be a clash of ideologies. Voldemort embodies domination, power lust, and pure blood obsession. Diana is a warrior of truth, justice, and humanity. Unlike Harry Potter, who fights based on choice and loyalty, Diana would see Voldemort's deeper essence, a torn, decaying soul driven by fear of death. She wouldn't destroy him immediately, but would engage, understand, and strike when necessary, just as she did with Ares in Wonder Woman, 2017. However, a key point, Diana can't be controlled by the Imperious Curse, killed by Avada Kedavra, or tortured by Cruciatus. She's not merely human, she's a force. This would terrify Voldemort, forcing him to resort to ancient methods, perhaps summoning the darkest spirits to face her. Instead of working alone, Diana would quickly become a central figure in the Order of the Phoenix, the organization opposing Voldemort. Unlike Dumbledore, who is cautious and observant, Diana would act. She'd lead missions to rescue captured students, dismantle Death Eater strongholds, and inspire young wizards like Neville, Ginny, or Luna. Her presence would shift the entire war's dynamic, not just tactically, but spiritually. In the darkest days, Wonder Woman would be a guardian deity, a flame in the darkness. One of Diana's iconic weapons, the Lasso of Truth, would hold special power in the wizarding world, where lies, charms, and mind manipulation are common. The lasso could force Death Eaters to reveal their plans, uncover betrayals within the Order, and even counter artifacts like Horcruxes. In a world where even the Ministry of Magic is rife with deceit, Diana is a reminder that truth cannot be distorted and justice cannot be delayed. Barry Allen. When the speed of light meets ancient magic, all limits are shattered. If Barry Allen, the Flash, stepped into the wizarding world of Harry Potter, the laws of physics would bend, time would unravel, and battles would move too fast for the naked eye to follow. But beyond raw power, Flash's presence raises a bigger question. Can speed alter the wizarding world's fate? If Barry existed in the wizarding world, the first question is he a wizard? The logical answer is, not exactly. Though he doesn't need a wand, Barry possesses a supernatural ability that would awe many wizards. In the DC universe, his power comes from the Speed Force, a near-magical cosmic energy. making him akin to a mystical creature in the wizarding world. If Barry were a muggle who stumbled into the wizarding world, it would alarm the Ministry of Magic. A man who can move faster than apparition, bypass protective charms, and slip through areas guarded by ancient magic, Flash could be a threat or an indispensable ally. One of Flash's most controversial abilities is reversing time. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, Barry reversed time to save the world from destruction. If he brought that ability to the Harry Potter world, he could do things no one dared, like stopping Voldemort in his youth, saving Sirius from death, or even preventing Lily and James Potter's murder. But that's where countless paradoxes begin. The wizarding world has a similar tool, the Time Turner, but the Ministry banned altering the past due to unpredictable consequences. So if Barry, a man who can break natural laws just by running, entered, would that world collapse from paradoxes or be restructured in a new way? If Barry used his speed to prevent tragedies like the Battle of Hogwarts or Voldemort's rise, key events would change. For example, if Cedric didn't die, Dumbledore wasn't killed, or the Horcruxes were destroyed before Tom Riddle's rise, Harry Potter would no longer be the boy who lived. Imagine the final battle between Harry and Voldemort, but with Barry. When Voldemort raises his wand to cast Avada Kedavra, Barry could easily dodge or run through it. Flash could disarm Death Eaters before they touched their wands. He could save dozens of students in an instant and evacuate them from the battle as he did with civilians in The Flash, 2023. He could even use his speed to create a lightning throw to strike Dementors or even Nagini. While wizards are still chanting spells, Barry would have circled Hogwarts 3 times, defeating all the guards. However, not every enemy is easily defeated. Voldemort, with his ability to sense energy flows and superhuman reflexes, could use dark detection magic to track Barry. Moreover, places like the Forbidden Forest might disrupt the Speed Force, limiting Flash and turning him from invincible to mortal. After all, if Barry stayed at Hogwarts, he'd become a legend, the man who could end conflicts in seconds, save the school from Dementors without a wand, break every law of time to save a single life. Muggle or wizard, Flash would forever be an extraordinary anomaly in the Harry Potter world, a being who doesn't belong, but creates unexpected change, a unique force. Finally, Aquaman, the King of the Seas. Arthur Curry in the DC Universe is the heir to Atlantis, a buried civilization with technology and magic beyond human imagination. When stepping into the Harry Potter world, Aquaman would undoubtedly be a force that demands the Ministry of Magic's attention. Imagine Arthur invited to Hogwarts as a judge for the Triwizard Tournament during the second task at the lake. No need for a gillyweed charm or training with sea creatures. Aquaman would silently command the entire lake ecosystem. Grindylows, merpeople, giant fish, even creatures undocumented by Newt Scamander, all would bow to the true king of the ocean. In Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the lake is a sanctuary for a merpeople community, mystical creatures, ancient algae, and lost spirits. Yet, no one, not even Dumbledore, controls those waters. But with Aquaman present, a single wave of his hand would turn the lake into a Hogwarts version of Atlantis. A fun detail, in Fantastic Beasts, the Secrets of Dumbledore, the Kelpie, a giant, dangerous water horse, is mentioned. Now imagine Aquaman commanding an entire herd of Kelpies as battle mounts. No wizard would dare dive into the lake without Arthur Curry's permission. The presence of a half-human, half-divine entity who commands the seas without a wand would surely alarm the Ministry. They've been harsh with creatures like werewolves, giants, and centaurs, so Aquaman would certainly be closely monitored. One can't rule out the Ministry trying to tame him or worse, attack him as they did with other mystical beings. But who's to say Aquaman would comply? His weapon, the Trident of Atlantis, can resist magic and break standard barriers. Not just a physical object, the trident is a symbol of royal authority, capable of summoning tsunamis and controlling whirlwinds, magic even Dumbledore would fear. Salazar Slytherin, a Hogwarts founder, was said to speak to snakes and thrive in dark, damp underground environments. If Aquaman entered Hogwarts, the Sorting Hat would likely place him in Slytherin, not just for dominance, but for his cold, tough, and conflicted nature. Imagine a young Aquaman as a Hogwarts student. He'd become the unofficial leader of Slytherin students, dominating Quidditch with a trident repurposed as a broomstick or founding a secret club under the lake, where he rules every game. And now the final battle at Hogwarts. With the Justice League, there's no debate. One god, one ruthless vigilante, one demigod, the fastest man alive, and a genius. There's no question Hogwarts' side would win, and with their help, the battle might even end years earlier. That's today's What If episode. What are your thoughts? Please comment below to let us know. Also, feel free to share your ideas for other What If topics you'd like us to explore.